Hello and welcome to Gloria's Crafts. My name's Gloria and today I'm going to be making gnome Easter bunnies, which I think are adorable. So let's get started. Now you're going to need a white sock, and you can use rice or beans, whatever you like. I got these bath salts from the Dollar Tree, so I'm going to be using these, and some of these bath salts. They have different smells, so I'm going to use the same ones in each sock. I'm not going to mix them. So I'm going to start out with the mint eucalyptus scent. So you want to take your sock, put it over, and there you have it. Easy peasy. So far I've used one, and this is how he looks. Kind of a strong smell. If you don't like smells, I don't recommend using the eucalyptus mint, but I think it'll add a nice fragrance to my home. So here's what he looks like. Now you want to get a rubber band, a piece of string, some kind of material to tie around the top of your little bunny. This is the string I have. I don't have any rubber bands. You would think that I would, but I don't. So I'm going to tie this around the body of my bunny, put it in a knot, knot it a couple times because you don't want it to come apart, and then cut. So here's what your bunny looks like right now. Now I'm going to cut this in half, right down the middle of my sock. And tie this in a couple knots. The higher you have your knots, it's okay, because one, it's gonna, if this was to break, it will stay together. Two, the higher your little ears will be for your gnome. So now you're gonna find the front of your gnome, and you're gonna squish up a desired amount, just like this, for his little nose. Now I'm going to tie it. The other reason I don't want to use rubber bands is with time they break, and then he won't have a nose anymore, or his ears will come apart. So I kind of like not having the rubber band. So I'm going to take some string, puff him up a little. Think of where I'd like his nose. Turn him over a bit to get some beads in there. Take your string, your rubber band, tie it in a knot tightly. And here's your bunny's nose. So I'm going to cut these strings. You're not going to see them, so it's okay. So far this is what your little gnome looks like. So I'm going to move my strings out of the way. Then I have a hat and some pretty snazzy socks. So I believe because this is a he, I'm going to do his body with that part of the hat, and then I'm going to do his ears with the polka dots. So we're going to start with his little body first. I'm going to put him in my hat. Now there's enough to make two, so you have more than enough. So I'm going to fold my hat in half, and then I'm going to cut up the side of my hat. You can do this with socks too. It's your preference. So then this is what it looks like. I'm going to put him backwards, kind of. You want this, and then I'm going to wrap my hat around my little fella, but you would like it as uniform as possible. So what I'm going to do is fold this over and under so that you don't see all of this. You're going to try not to. So now I'm going to start gluing the sock down. I mean the hat down. I'm putting a lot of glue on his little body. Patting it down to make sure it adheres. Thinking I should cut this a little more because I'd like it to be not as bulky. So I'm going to leave a little extra, cut a little bit, because I'd like to make a seam for his little area here. So now I'm going to glue this down, put some glue here, fold this under, bring this around. I'm going to adhere some more glue, and then I'm going to cut the excess off because you'd like it to be secure. And I'm going to do the other side. I have a lot of extra over here. And I am going to fold it down, add some glue, a generous amount, push that on there, and then glue up here. Should have my finger protectors, but usually when I have them, I don't use them anyway. So this is what he looks like right now. And I'm going to make sure that I glue right up under his nose so you don't see the green. So you can't see the green. Here he is, no green. Okay? I'm going to make sure I glue everything down. as I'm doing this, getting my finger protectors because I'm tired of burning my fingers. So I have them. Finger protectors, best thing ever. And I'm going to glue right along here. And push this down. So far, this is what our little guy looks like. He's cute. Now, for his ears. You're going to take your sock, excuse me, and I'm going to cut above the heel, just to have extra. So here it is. Then I'm going to open the sock up, and then I'm going to cut down this line right in the center. Let me think. No, from the top. From the top. Have to think about what I'm doing sometimes. So you cut down the center from the toe. So here is the top part of your bunny. So you're going to take the sock, you can cut this off, which I think I'm going to. Cut off the excess. So this is what he looks like with the excess cut off. And then I'm going to put his little bunny ears on. It's okay that the back has the little heel, that's fine. And it rolls up some because I'm thinking I'm going to cut this band off and use that. So I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to take this off for right now. And I'm going to glue the band onto my sock. I should do it this way. Trying to think. This way. Because the white part will be at the bottom. So I'm going to open up my sock and I'm going to put glue all the way around and bring the pink seam down. Be careful doing this. These socks, the glue can go through and burn you, which would hurt. Especially if you're using a large glue gun. So, it goes through the fabric. Does not have to be perfect. I am just trying to give the bottom of my hat some more definition and make it look seamless. So now I'm going to add some hot glue to the back. Careful with your fingers. I know I say that a lot, but I've been burned very badly and I don't like it. Okay. I'm going to do over here a little bit of glue. A little bit on, nope, don't need it on that side. I need it right here in the front though. As you can see, it's not glued. So a little bit more in the front. Just a little. right in the front, just like that. Now, give it a couple minutes to all adhere, stretch it out, and then I'm going to put my ears back on my adorable little bunny. It's going to be snug because you have your beans or whatever inside of your sock. So it's a little, you know, it's like putting on a sock. So here is this. Now, we're not going to glue this down just yet. We are going to, but we're going to have to make his little ears stay up. So you're going to need 5 chenille stems, okay? So what you're going to do is take 2 and kind of like this, okay? And wrap it around to give your ear some definition. So that's 1, okay? Then you need 2 more. Go about the same height. You can measure it out to make sure it's about the same height. And twist. All the way down all your stems. Then you're going to take the 5th one, fold it in half, and twist that. All the way. It's going to be the base for your ears. So what you're going to do is line up your 2 ears, your 2 chenille stems, and put them inside of your sock. Just like that. It gives it some definition, and now you can bend the ears. Then I'm going to do this one also on this side. Squunch them up a bit if you're having issues. And I'm going to start gluing a seam for my sock. And then I'll show you what to do with the 5th step. But right now, this gives your ears some definition. If you want them higher, just make them the loop not as high. It's entirely your preference. So, I'm going to get my finger protectors, and I'm going to glue the stem, this chenille stem in here, pipe cleaner, and then I'm going to glue the ear down. So first, I need a glue stick, which is right here. Now, I don't know if you've seen other of my videos, but what I do is I put a little hot glue on the end, and then I put it in, and you don't have to worry about it falling out. So I'm gluing down the ear. You want to make sure it's where you want it on your ear. Tuck in your pipe cleaner, and then I'm going to go down and make a seam on his little ear. I'm doing a little at a time because I'd like it to not look bad. I wish I had my other finger protectors because these are not big enough. But it is what it is. So I'm creating a seam. You can fold it over. It's entirely up to you. It's not working out with them. There we go. Just try not to burn yourself. And then I'm going to go all the way down this ear and do the same thing on this ear. Okay? Gluing this in. because you'd like his ear secure. Pushing the fabric on it. Taking your sock, you're going to make a seam carefully. Try not to burn yourself. Once it gets cool enough, you can touch it with your fingers and go all the way down his little ear. Leave an opening right here because we're not ready for that yet. That's where the 5th stem comes in, your pipe cleaner. So now I'm going to glue down here. So, here's how he looks right now. Now you're going to take the 5th pipe cleaner and you are going to put it in here. It's a little too big. And put it in so that it helps the pipe cleaners you already have stand up. Mine are a little long, so I'm going to fold it. You see this side's a little long. Fold it. It's all trial and error. It depends on how long your ears are. And I'm glad we didn't glue his head down because it would have been a little bit crooked for his ears. So now I'm going to put a lot of hot glue in here to glue that down. So as you can see, you have your pipe cleaners and your knot. So there's a lot going on inside his little head. So you want to put a generous amount of glue. I'd like his ears to stand up. And more glue on this side. Scrunch it up. Scrunch it up. And then I'm going to, I got one pipe cleaner sticking out there, so I'm going to move that. Okay, so now I'm going to glue in the middle, right here, to give it more structure. Right now I'm just messing with the pipe cleaners on the inside. I have a little bit of blue lint from underneath. So you can see the middle. I want them close together. I can still move them around because I got my bendy ears, but I'd like them a little secure in the middle. So while that's drying, I'm going to come down here and glue his hat down. So I'm pulling it, and I'm going to add some glue here. Then I'm going to add some glue over here. I have to get these blue wispies off my glue gun. That's where the fuzzies are coming from. Continue to pull it down as you go, because you'd like it secure around his little nose. Then you want to do the back. I'd like more, oh my goodness, I'd like more right here, so I'm going to put more and then pull this down some more. So this handsome little guy is almost done. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to curl his little ears any way I want. There's his ears. Now I'm going to flip him over, and I have some cotton balls. I'm going to poof it up a decent amount, and put it back together. And then I'm going to add his little cottontail. So I'm going to go on the back, put his little bunny tail right on there. Make sure it's secure, because I'm using cotton balls. So you want to make sure his little tail is secure. And here is the front of him. Now for his eyes, you can use little beads, little googly eyes. I am going to use black paint, acrylic black paint, and part of a dowel. Dip it in, make sure it's all covered, put an eye right, oops, not perfect. You might have to use a Q-tip. And then another eye. I have a small paintbrush I might use if I can't get his eye better. So here's his little eyes. They're not perfect. I was hoping it was going to be a simple task. That looks better. There's his little eyes. This one looks like he's crying a bit, so we'll make it a little bigger. Here's his little eyes. So for this little guy, I am done with his eyes, and I would like to give him a little bow tie. So I have my little lemon ribbon. I'm going to cut it. Fold it in half, just like this. Then I'm going to crease it on the one end, so I know where the seam is for the middle. Then I'm going to take one end and then the other end, and I'm going to add a little hot glue to his little bow tie in the middle. And it's a pretty decent sized bow tie. I don't know if I like that. That might be too big. Let me try a little smaller. Or I think I might just give him a carrot. So I'm going to give him, instead of a bow tie, I'm going to give him a little carrot. So I have the glue. Not real thrilled with this seam here. So here is the finished product of my little man with his little tail and his carrot. Now I'm going to make a young lady. I'm going to use the same scent because I don't want them having two different scents in my house. Starting with the socket. Oh, I forgot to give him whiskers. Oh my goodness. Silly me. I forgot. So, I didn't have white string. So what I did was, I took these tiny party hats and cut the string off. I can't believe I forgot this. I am so sorry. So I have several of these, and they're pretty long. So I'm going to kind of put them together evenly. And I'm going to wrap it around his little nose. And this will also secure his nose. And I'm going to tie this once. Tight. And there is two little whiskers. And I am going to cut off the excess. So here's his little whiskers. You can add as many whiskers as you like. I think I'd like to add a little more. Got a little carried away. I should have made it part way and then part way again. Silly me. So I'm going to start on one end and tie it around. Whoops, that was silly. Tie it around his little nose. I can't believe I forgot the whiskers. I am so sorry. Oh, my lanta. Did it right the first time. Let's try it again up here. And then tie it again in a knot. It's up too high, so I'm going to bring it around, down with the other whiskers. If I could just grab it. Bring it around, the whole thing, and then I'm going to cut it. So now he has whiskers. I have 3. You can put as many whiskers on as you'd like. So there you go. He's done. Once I put the whiskers back on. Here he is with his little whiskers. Okay, so he's done. Now we're going to start on his girlfriend. I got to fix his tail because I was jamming on his little nose. So his tail is not as fluffy. So here he is. I'm going to put him right here. Now I'm going to start with his little girlfriend. Taking the same beads, dumping them in the sock. I'm going to take the same green string I had for him, for her, and I'm going to tie a knot around her twice or 3 times just to make sure it's secure. And then cut off the excess. Then I'm going to cut straight down the middle. Tie this in a knot. Twice. So in case the string breaks, you'll still have a secure hold. Then I'm going to cut off the extra. This is going much faster than the last time because we've already done the one. So now we're doing her. So here she is. Now we have to do her nose. So we'd like her nose centered. So you grab where you want the nose, as big as you'd like it. Grab your string. I have a piece. And I am going to tie a knot around her nose. I'm going to turn her over a little bit to do her little nose. So here's her nose. Here's her string. Hopefully it's long enough. It's too tiny of a nose, so I'm going to get a longer piece of string because that was scrappy string. Scrunch up her little nose, just like this. Grab your longer string or your rubber band and make sure it's in the middle. I'm going to turn her over to get some of her beads in her little nose pouch. Having issues with her nose. She's going to have the tiniest nose in the universe if I don't get it together soon. Okay. I'm starting out with a big clump. Hopefully it won't be this hard. I'm going to twist it a little bit and then I'll untwist it when I get the rope on it or the string. So before I pull this, I'm going to untwist her little nose. There we go. I finally got it together. I'm going to tie it twice. There we go. Cut the excess. Okay, so here's her nose, and here's the top tied in a knot. And here she is. So, last time we did not use the whole sock, and this time we're not going to use the whole sock. So we're going to cut above the heel, and this is going to be the bottom of her. Much easier with a sock than a hat. So now I'm going to fold it under so that you don't have all the frizz. And here she is. Much easier with the sock. So now I'm going to glue that around her little body. Okay, now for her ears, I'm going to be using the rest of the hat. So, let me think how we want to do this. Thinking, I'm going to glue it in the back. Okay, so, I'm going to glue in the back all the way up on the seam. So that's what I'm going to do first because we got to cut it in the middle. So first off, I'm going to glue the hat back together. Okay, cut off what's here. And I'm going to do right in here. Watch your fingers. Okay. So once this is all adhered, this is going to be her ears. Okay? Yes, I know it's probably silly that we glued it because we're going to cut it anyway, but it gives me a base at the bottom. So we're going to cut down the middle like we did to the last one, or you can pull apart the glue. I'm going to not. So I'm going to go up the top and cut down. I should have, don't do what I did because that's a little redundant, but what you could have done is instead of gluing it all the way up, you could have just glued it at the bottom. So here's her ears, okay? So before we do the chenille stems, we're going to add her whiskers. So I have my little part of my party hat, and I'm going to secure the little whiskers to her face. There you go. So you got two. You can cut them, which I'm probably going to when I'm done. And then I have more whiskers. You can use thread, you can use anything that makes you comfortable. I didn't have anything that was thick enough, so I decided to use what I had. Goodness, here's another one. You can make them black, you can make them brown. It's entirely your choice. We're just going to go with two because the other ones are too small. So I'm going to cut these off. And here she is with her little whiskers. Okay? Her little whiskers. Now for her hat. So, we need 5 chenille stems. You're going to take this one for the middle and twist it all the way down. If it's too long, you just make it shorter inside her little ears. Apologize. It's her little ears, not his. Then you're going to take these pipe cleaners. See about how long the ear is. Make it a little, I'm thinking about halfway. And I'm going to twist because I want it to be secure to this. So here you go, twisting all the way around. Grab the other one, fold it in the middle, leave a loop, twist it all the way around. Now I'm going to put her little ears on. We're not gluing them just yet. You want to have it so it's going to come down around her little nose. And I am going to put the bottom one in first. I think that would be easier. So just put it in, just like that. Now, you want to make sure that it's in, and then I'm going to take my ear and put it in. Still kind of glued together. Now I'm going to start gluing her ear. Gonna have to get the wispies off. Now for the other ear, putting this in, and now I'm going to glue this down. Secure your chenille stem inside your little ear. It's okay if you have little frayed ends like this, because you can cut them. Now I want my ears to stand up, so I need to secure in here with a lot of glue. Then I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and hold them down. They're very floppy. I love it. Now I need to fix this ear to tighten it up. There's extra over here. So I'm going to put it around the back, just like this, around the back. And there you go, for her little ear. I like her little ear, it's a little pointy. And then I want to do this ear, clean this one up. There you go. Now you can curl her ears, you can leave them the way they were. I am curling them, one frontwards, one backwards. I need to get in here. Thank God I didn't do this, because they're not standing up properly. So I'm going to put a generous amount of glue in and hold her ears down. Now, as you can see, this is a little wisped out with a lot of stuff. So you just cut that off. You hold her little ears down. If it's still not working, you're going to bring this down and hold that down with some glue and hold it. Oh my goodness, I think she is adorable. Her little ears are floppy, but that's okay. So now I'm going to pull her little hat down, and I'm going to put glue on the hat around the nose, because you want to just see the nose, hence gnome bunny. Go around the back. Glue it down. And here's her little ears, floppy as they are. Now we're going to add some eyes. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of glue on her belly. I don't like that. So, we need to add her little eyes. So hopefully this will work better than it did on him. Grab my little dowel stick. Shoot for the middle. One eye. Oh, perfect! I'm so excited! Perfect! I love her! Get a little more there, but it looks so much better than the last one. Oh my goodness, how adorable is she? Okay, so we need to add her little cottontail. Here's her little floppy ears, which are just the cutest things ever. Look at that. How adorable is she? So we're going to turn her over. She's got a little bit of blue wispy, so I'm going to puff up her little tail. I'm going to put some hot glue on it. Put her tail right there. I'm going to add a little bit more glue to secure my cotton ball. You can use more than one if you want the tail bigger. But here's her little tail. I just smudged her little eyes. That stinks. Now, I made the bow for him, but I'm thinking she would look adorable with a little bow on her ear. So I'm going to add a middle piece to this. I can find my Okay. Don't know where that is. So we're going to use some floral wire. To do the middle. I only have a little piece. I'm going to take it, put it around her little hair accessory, and I'm going to turn it. Not as easy as you'd think. There we go. So that gives it some definition. And then I'm going to hot glue it to her little head. And ta-da! She is done. This is what the finished product looks like. Thank you so much for watching. Come back again to see my next tutorial, and have a blessed day. Bye.